Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Topbot and welcome to part 3 of the 5-part series where I take each individual faction and rank them in their characters of between S and D. If you've seen the previous parts before, then you know that I include the legendary characters as well, which aren't exactly going to be great. Some of them will get an honourable mention, some of them might move up a little bit, but majority of them are going to stay down at the D and C era. Now, there has been a large update out, 2.1, which has brought a lot of, personally, I think a lot of nice stuff about. It would be nice, I think, if there was a patch note given out as to, you know, rather than people having to find out through gameplay, if there's any tweaks that they made or anything like that. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm just going to go through this tier list as it is. I'm going to go through the deity tier list next week and then the devil's tier list. Now, I'm probably not going to include Chikiri into the devil tier list, but I mean, she potentially would have been out a couple of weeks, so if I can get chatting to people, seeing what they think of her, how she is in PvP, how she is in PvE, she looks like a nuke down a single target sort of character, so I don't know, maybe paired up with another couple of characters, she might be quite good for nuking, but with regards to warriors and that lot, I think Savnax still takes. Anyway, that's getting off topic for that. We're on to Mooncrest here at the moment. So, as I said, with the legendary characters down here, we're going to start off in the D tier, where I'm probably going to put both Malfa, Lilith, are going to go down there. Um, Again, they are okay characters if you're starting out early game and this is what you get given. I, for one, definitely used Lilith because her rage skill is a web to 4 enemies with a 50% chance of silencing them, which is quite nice. So, if that procs off, you can be quite nice to use in that way. Malfa, I don't really use. He does inflict a curse and that lot for 2 turns. But it's a lot better if you could get her. But Rezis is another one who is a good character. She's all right early game. You can. In fact, actually, I think I might put Ilith up to C tier. Um, Resis, Now she does have the ability to freeze a row. It's only 20% though. I think she's sort of down at D tier. Okay, not great. The next we're going to look at is Ruz here. I mean, again, he's a support. He's a healer, really. As I've said in previous videos, healers aren't exactly amazing in this game at the moment. Anybody who heals doesn't really heal enough to give a beneficial effect to the team, so I'm going to stick him down in the D tier. He's not great, really. Especially late game, he's just rubbish. And then finally, we're going to go with the last, or second to last legendary, which will be Northlid. Who is kind of like a Thorian. So with his rage skill, he targets the lowest HP and does 410% damage, which is quite nice. He also has a passive or third skill, whatever you want to call it. I call them passives. that target that has a 50% chance of marking and targeting lowest health. So he's a good single target. I'd probably put him up in the C actually. I think just with single target damage, he's quite nice to sort of look at. Last in the legendaries is Hoived. Now, I like Hoived, I really do. I think he's really good. He is probably the best out of the legendaries. By far, I would say. I mean, he gains HP and defense bonus for fallen characters. He unleashes a dragon's breath onto every enemy that has a chance to freeze for one turn. He's definitely a character that you can use to progress. Definitely, I would put him up to B. He's definitely for me one of the top legendary characters out there, and especially being a tank, and you will need a tank. He's probably the easiest to get tank as well. So yeah, I think that's probably best to leave him there. Right now, moving on to the six, sorry, immortal characters. We have. We're going to start off with Theodora. So he's probably the character I definitely have used the least out of all of them. So you know he's a ranger who has the ability to hit 4 enemies and inflict bleed onto targets. He is a dodge with increased ignoring the defense percentage. He's good, but for me, I would say he's probably the worst out of all of the immortals. So I think he belongs down in the B tier, down here. I know some people are like, oh, he's immortal, he should be at least one tier lower and that lot, but I don't know. I don't think he's. If you build him well and probably put attack onto him, you could probably get something, but towards the end of the game, I don't think he is that good. Obviously, everybody's a little bit controversial on the Mooncrest characters as to where things would be, especially with these two characters here, Vladir and Regal, to these two next. So, Regal was my very first Immortal 5-star character. He has the ability to attack enemies in a row, potential stun, shields himself for damage. He also has the ability to increase his max HP, lifesteal, and attack, and he grants a damage reduction, only a small damage reduction to Mooncrest allies, but he also has a 50% ability to absorb the enemy's void energy and dealing damage to 3 random enemies and reduce their attack by 20%, defense by 40% for 2 turns. Now, I think that's like 140 that skill or something, so you've got to get him quite high before he gets that skill and starts getting pretty good. But yeah, I like Regal. I think he's very good when it comes to the Mooncrest. Definitely at 140 he becomes that, but I will stick him in the A tier. I just think that he's good, but I've still found him to be quite squishy because he's a support, not a tank. So his defense lacks. What I say is defense lacks a little bit. He's got very high defense, but you know. The next character we'll talk about is Vladir. Now, probably due to aesthetics and he's probably personally my favourite out of all the Mooncrest characters. You know, he spawns in and gives lifesteal for 3 turns, sorry. And also, Moon Shadow allies gain an additional 8%, so they would get 16% lifesteal. He also gains a 35% defense bonus, which is really nice. When he's deployed, he gains 35 speed for 3 turns, and he grants himself and the allies behind him 30% damage reduction 1 turn after he casts his raid skill, which is quite nice if you've got someone behind him who's a bit squishy and just needs that little bit more defense to survive a bit more. But yeah, his rage skill does a massive damage, and self heals himself. I would probably say he's the best tank out of say nearly all of them. I would put him in S tier. I think he's really good. He's a really solid tank, very good, and just you can use him until late game as well. Next character we'll talk about is Garrod. Now, Garrod is a maid. I think he's I more use him as a support, really. I mainly use him for his 3rd skill, which increases the crit chance allies. Also, you gain additional crit chance if they're Mooncrest as well. He also has the ability of a 50% chance of reducing speed on other allies as well. He also has a AoE attack that attacks everybody, reducing their attack by 20% for 2 turns, with a small chance of reducing their crit charge by 75%, which is huge if you can get that off. But I'll stick him in A just because I don't think his damage output is good enough for a mage. But again, if you build him right and well and probably stick a pack on him and that lot, he's quite good. And if he survives to get that first rage off, that can be pretty game changing. But towards the late game, you kind of replace him. Now, last but not least, we are left with both Enid and Bathorian. Now, Bathorian you can purchase via one of the what are they called? Via one of the bundles that you can get. I think you can get her to Legendary Plus, I believe. She is very good, very solid single target damage dealer. Now, she solely focuses on one target and one target alone. That's where she comes in very handy. She's very good at taking out anything squishy, ignoring the front line, going straight to back line. So she's very good. You'll probably see a lot of people using her. I would personally put her... You know what? For the purpose of this video, as much as I really like her and I think she is great and she is brilliant, I would put her in like an A+. I would put her here almost. But I'll put her A for this video. Purely because she is only single target. Although she does a lot of damage, she is just single target. There's no AoE, there's not really anything else in there going for. I mean, if you pair her up with Garrod, they're very good. And if you pair her up with Brenda, who's the single target devil hero, then you can kind of just annihilate an enemy. But again, it's only single target. So purely for that purpose, she sits in the A tier, but she is very good nonetheless. Like, if you can get her. She's still very good. Enid. I love Enid. She's probably my second favourite Mooncrest hero. The fact that her raid attacks everybody and inflicts a burn, which is also 20% ignoring damage, I find is very nice. She also has a passive which increases her attack by 10%. She also heals for a percentage of her attack per turn, which is very nice for sustaining that lot. And obviously, like most, she has a 50% chance of unleashing range damage with extra defense ignoring damage. And her basic is potentially defense ignoring damage as well on the burn that she gives. Now, I've used her quite a bit. And again, I think people might change their minds, and that on this will be a bit controversial, but I'd stick her in A, B, S tier. I really like her. Even end game, you can use her. Okay, she's an AoE hitter. She burns, she heals, she does defense ignoring damage with her burns. I think she's really good. If you can get that rage skill off, she's brilliant. And as an Isoria, if you can charm her and she rages her own team, it's pretty much game over at that point. But yeah, so this is my outtake on the Mooncrest tier list for part 3 of 5. Next week I will do the deity, probably going to be a shorter video because there's only 7 of them, sorry. And then you'll have the devils after that, where again, there's going to be 7 of them to cover as well. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Please tune in because I will be bringing out a 2-month account review eventually in the future. Now that the Realms of Deities is out, I will be bringing out content on the Realms of Deities, what to do, maximize it, all of that. I haven't played it yet, so hopefully I'm gonna think about doing a stream on Monday of me first going into the Realms of Deities and what my first initial thoughts are. So if you do want to see that, then click the link below, go over to Twitch, give me a follow. That would really help out. I am 19 followers away from affiliate, so that would really help. Thank you very much to everyone who has followed me already. And yeah, so I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give a like, subscribe. And with that all being said, take care, have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.